I don't hear that. I don't know.
You're a little slow today, but hey, what a time to be alive! Holy cow, is there a lot of sports to talk about today? Hopefully, Philly sports guy will pop in and join us, and we'll talk some Phillies, and we'll talk some Eagles with him. As we know, the Phillies just took out the Braves today. The Eagles are playing the Cowboys on Sunday, so I'm hoping he is able to do it. I know he's at the game; he's got a lot of things going on, but hopefully he'll pop in and we can have that conversation. But in the meantime, welcome to the stage, my boy, Johnathon Mathis. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks for having me on, as always. There is a lot to talk about in the sports world today. It is a great time to be alive. The Phillies on this magical run. They ended the Brave season, and Tennessee just knocked off Alabama. So there's a lot to get into.
Absolutely. And next up on the item up for biz is Big Shot Rob. What's up, baby?
What's going on, man? What a time to be alive, man. We got all these sports going on, man. Saw the Phillies knock off Logan's team, so they're out of the playoffs now. That Tennessee-Alabama game was wild, man. Tennessee won it on the last-second field goal. And now I'm watching your Astros take on the Mariners here in extra innings. Hopefully we'll see somebody score here, and we'll see who wins this game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to get into all those things, I promise. Next is another guy who is always the staple of Unscripted. It is Foxborough Frankie. It's Frankie the Yankee. It's Frankie C. and all the other titles in which he carries. And his team is playing today, too. What's up, Big Frankie?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, it's an amazing time to be alive, like you guys said. Philadelphia Phillies are on their way to the NLCS, awaiting the San Diego Padres, because I already know, like I said last week, that the Padres are going to beat the Dodgers in 4, and it's going to happen tonight. But I'm like Rob, I'm waiting for this Astros and Seattle game, top of the 12th, 0-0. So that's an amazing game. And I'm also watching my team. We're currently losing right now, 1-0.
Yeah, and again, it's a long game, so anything can happen. And we're going to get into all those games, and we're going to talk and break them down as we go forward in the show. We're going to kick it off, if you don't mind, gentlemen. We're just going to talk just a couple of quick things that kind of have popped up over the last day or so, and then we'll get into this college football, and then we'll go from there. It's interesting to me, Dallas, excuse me, not Dallas, the Warriors and Poole, they finalized a 4-year, $140 million deal. And at this point, you got to imagine that had to have some sort of weight with Poole and Green, and maybe that little shoving and fisticuffs that they had. And at some point, do you think that Green, the light on his career, at least with the Warriors, is coming to an end and possibly him going somewhere else? Frankie, we're going to go bottom up. Frankie, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was really a shocker to me to see that he got that extension, because it's not like a 2-year extension. He signed a 5-year extension with the Warriors, and it proves that the Warriors are soon going to have to let go one of those big top players, and it's most likely going to be Draymond Green. As I've been seeing around lately, I did read something, and I'm pretty sure Johnathon Mathis can back me up on this. We've seen something where Draymond Green is potentially being talked about getting traded to the Lakers. So I'm not saying that those sources are true. I'm just saying if that's already the words that's being spread, and Jordan Poole just got an extension after having an altercation with Draymond Green, and it goes to show that sooner or later, the big three of the Golden State Warriors are not going to be together for long.
Yeah, absolutely. And Big Shot Rob, man, damn, what a time to be alive, man. Poole hit the jackpot. Green been with the Warriors since day one when they started winning all these damn titles. And now they're talking about possibly, now again, these are all rumors, like Frankie said, there's nothing set in stone, nothing concrete. They're just rumors. But I'm just saying, even still, man, the fact that Green doesn't have a contract, Poole gets a big 4-year extension, and you got to think that he's the out guy looking out. And how do you treat one of your cornerstones of those championship teams.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of surprising to me everything Draymond's done with that team, and it would shock me to see him in any other uniform but a Warriors uniform. But I think the Warriors are just getting tired of dealing with him and his antics and stuff. That's why they're looking to get rid of him and maybe trade him to the Lakers or any other team. But to me, he just fits that team perfectly, man. You know, like everything he's done for them in the playoffs and the finals, like he's been like the perfect hustle player.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know.
Any other team, I don't know.
What
was that?
No, I thought you froze up. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying seeing him on any other team would not shock me. I think he could have a good role in the Lakers because they need a also player like that. But any other team, like I can't see Draymond being a scorer. He is what he is. You know, he's a rebounder, defensive player, hustle player. He'll get in your face and like trash talk you. He kind of reminds me of a Dennis Rodman type of guy, and Udonis has him like one of those type of guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. And then again, so Johnathon, man, if it is true, and God forbid, Draymond does come to the Lakers, he kind of gives you that little spark. I mean, good God, now you're gonna have two mouths on the team. You're gonna have what's the dude they just picked up? Point guard
Patrick Beverly.
And you're going to have – could you imagine Patrick Beverly and Draymond Green on the same team and all the crap that they're going to be talking? It's going to be stupid.
You said two mouths, Jay. That's three mouths. You forgot Russell Westbrook as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Then you got Russell on there, too. That's like three different mouths. Mm-hmm. Wow. What's your thought process on Green?
A circus in L.A. A circus in L.A. Because all of those guys – have similar personalities, right? And you put three of those guys on the same team, three loudmouths on one team, that can cause a lot of problems in the locker room, because usually guys who have the same personalities, they usually clash, they usually bump heads. So to see him with the Lakers, it would be a bit weird, but you got to remember too, the NBA is a business. And the Lakers like players like this, and the Lakers need another guy like that. They have Patrick Beverly, but let's say if Patrick Beverly doesn't work out long term, you have Draymond Green. This is a team that took their chances on Meta World Peace in the past. This is a team that has taken its chances and has run the risk signing players who have reputations like that, who have been criticized for their antics and the way they conduct themselves on and off the court. So to see Draymond Green in a Laker uniform, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise.
Yeah, that's true. And we got Mr. JP Head 305 in the backstage. Chilling with us in the show. Welcome, Mr. Head 305. Relax, throw your comments in there, and man, it's going to be a good show. Real quick, I do want to throw a shout out to Dikembe Mutombo. As you know, the man is I believe, went underwent surgery for a brain tumor. I believe now he's in recovery, and we wish him a speedy success, man. Hey, you never like to see this, but hopefully it will be a quick recovery for him, and we'll get back to more of that finger wag. Anybody want to say any thoughts on Mr. Dikembe Mutombo?
Yeah, prayers to the Dikembe Mutombo. I hope he gets better soon. It's definitely unfortunate to him having this brain tumor, but I hope he gets better soon so he can see that finger wagging again. No, with the block shot, man. I remember Dikembe back in the day, definitely one of the great centers in the NBA growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. So I hope he's able to get through this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Hoping for a speedy recovery. This is a guy who's done so much in his native country. He's contribute to the community, has done a lot of charity work, just an amazing person. So I wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankie, you want to say anything to Dikembe?
Yeah, man. Like all the rest, I hope he heals really quickly and heals fast. We can't lose a Mutombo on the same year where we lose Bill Russell is just
Man, ain't that the truth? Gee.
it'll be insane. If I'm a tumble right now, I'm in the hospital waving my finger like Rob said, like he did on the court. I'm in the hospital waving my finger at that brain tumor saying, no, 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 not me, not today.
Hey, man. Hey, that is absolutely unequivocally true. Real quick, guys, I do want to talk. Carlos Correa now is going to be on the block in free agency now that Minnesota's done and he's exercising his opt-out clause. Real quick, what 5 teams do you think he goes to? My top 5 would be Orioles probably at 1, Cardinals at 2, Giants at 3, Phillies at 4, because I think they have the money and they want to upgrade to get to that next level, even if they don't get the World Series here. And then I got the Cubs at 5, again, because they got a lot of money. And on that back half, they went 39-31, and I think he really can do some damage over there in Chicago. What do you guys got, Jonathan?
Man, the Chicago Cubs, they make a lot of sense. They make the most sense, actually. The Chicago Cubs, they really need a quality infielder. They need help in the infield. They need some depth, and Carlos Correa can provide that. I think that's a destination for Correa. That was a destination for Correa prior to signing with the Twins. He has a big bat. Instead of going for something big, Chicago went after Simmons and Jonathan Villar for their shortstop duties, but I think now they're looking to get a player that they can plug in there every day at shortstop and someone that can produce a lot of power as well. And Carlos Correa could do both of those things. So I think the Cubs is definitely a team to pay attention to this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shot, Rob.
Yeah, I'm looking at the teams right now. I'm looking at the top 10 teams right now. I see the Twins at 10, the Braves are at 9, the Red Sox are at 8, the Yankees are at 7, the Dodgers are at 6, Orioles are at 5, St. Louis Cardinals at 4, San Francisco Giants at 3, the Phillies at 2, and you have the Cubs at 1. This is according to Bleacher Report. So, yeah, I think the Cubs would definitely be a good landing spot. Like Johnathon Mathis said, that they're rebuilding that team after they won the World Series, a few years ago. And they definitely need an infielder and a guy who has experience like Carlos Correa. He has playoff experience. He won a World Series with the Astros. So I think going to the Cubs would definitely be a good fit. But look at these other teams. They're all good fits as well. But I'll take the Cubs.
Yeah, again, I think the Cubs really do make a good spot. Frankie the Yankee, what are we looking at?
God. Listen, I'm going to be realistic with you guys, and I'm going to open your guys' ears, and I want you guys to listen real clearly. Because when the Juan Soto shit was going around, excuse my language, everybody was following the same thing you guys are looking at right now. Oh, Bleacher Report got this team at number 1, so I think he's going to go here. No, it's not going to happen like that. He's not going to go to the Cubs. I understand what you guys are saying. The Cubs need that shortstop fielder type, and Carlos Correa will be the perfect fit. But he's not going to go to the Cubs. He's going to go to a team where he thinks he could win many games. The Cubs are in a rebuild mode. He does not want to do that. He just did that with Minnesota. He doesn't want to go back to a rebuild team. He wants to be with a winning team. Do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, do not be surprised if he ends up, honestly, going to like a Houston Astros or a New York Yankees or an LA Dodgers or anything like that. Maybe San Diego Padres, maybe Chicago White Sox. You guys never know. They can always be those quiet teams that come in and take a crazy, crazy pickup like that. And it just blows my mind that everybody looks at the Bleacher Reports and the MLB reports and everything like that, and they go and say, yeah, well, they're saying that's the number 1 team. Now I'm just going to think that's the number 1 team. Nah, man, it's not going to work like that. I put money on it right now. Carlos Correa next year will not be a Cub.
I had the Cubs at number 5. I actually had the Orioles, Cardinals, and Phillies in the top 3 or 4. So
I mean, the
again,
Orioles
there's
is
a
not
lot.
bad
I mean, you
choice,
got to
but
figure. You got to
I don't
figure though,
see him
Frankie,
doing that.
he's going to want $300 million. I mean, this guy's going to want the big payday. So you got to figure out what contenders, number one, need to upgrade, and number two, what contenders had the cap space or the trade space to bring him in. And I think the Phillies are one of those teams. I think the Cardinals are probably one of those teams. And I definitely think the Orioles damn near almost got into the playoffs, and they probably could use that. And he does have the connection with Mike Elias, which was the scout that actually brought Correa to the Astros when he was a scout and also an assistant GM with Houston. So don't look past the Orioles and the connections there as well. So there's a lot of different ways that he could go about that. It's going to be interesting. I got to be honest, it's going to be interesting to see where he does go this offseason and who benefits. All right, folks, we're going to get into the show. We're going to talk a little college football. Good Lord, what a day for college football. Let's talk about the blowout between Michigan and Penn State first, 41-17. It was a slow start if you watched it first half. But that second half, Michigan really kicked it into a different gear. And I'll tell you, man, I really think that Penn State's offense was anemic. Their defense was on point in that first half. But, man, when you're putting up 563 all-purpose yards to 268, and it's just not going to happen for you. And Michigan really showed at number 10, Penn State, why they're at number 5. And given what Alabama's done, probably could wind up in the top 4 at this point. Jonathan.
Yeah, it was a productive day for Michigan football. Michigan dominated on the ground all day. An untested Penn State, finally played someone. And, the same could be said about Michigan, too. They finally had a tough opponent on their schedule. But, the Michigan Wolverines, they like to do what they do best, and that's pound the football. They like to run the football, and they ran the football effectively. Penn State, to me, they could have used a different strategy. To me, they were reluctant to put 8 in the box to stop the run. I think if they would have put 8 in the box, that kind of could have neutralized Michigan a bit and made it tough for them on the afternoon. I just think that would have been a good strategy. I just don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why Penn State didn't put 8 in the box.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And then we'll move over to Big Shot Rob, man. Woo! What about that Michigan Penn State, baby?
Yeah, man, this game was close at halftime. I think it was like 17-14 or something like that. And I was watching the game, and once Michigan got up 31-17, I was like, man, here comes the blowout. And Michigan just pretty much ran all over them. They didn't do much in the passing game at all. J.J. McCarthy had 17 of 24 with 145 yards and 1 interception. They just ran all over him. Draylon Edwards, he had 16 carries, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. The other running back, Blake Corum, had a 61-yard touchdown run. And then the wide receiver, Tinsley, he had 5 receptions for 57 yards. So Michigan, they just pretty much ran all over Penn State. And I agree with what Jonathan was saying. I don't know why Michigan didn't put more in the box to try to stop that running game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that as well. Frankie the Yankee brother, Penn State and Michigan.
Yeah, it was a really good game for Michigan. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is like literally one of the best college coaches right now, and he's proven it time and time again. Being in the top 4 last year, and then coming in this year, looking dominant, still undefeated, putting up 40, 50 points a game. It's an impressive on what Jim Harbaugh and what Michigan is doing. Like what Rob and Jonathan is saying, they ran literally all over Penn State. And that's not a good defense if you're getting run on all day.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Now we're going to move on to the game that everybody is totally excited for, to the point where Logan puts in the chat a meme of the goalposts being torn down and taken to the Tennessee bars. And I don't blame him. I definitely tear that thing down and take it to the bar. No doubt about it. Maybe you can find – no, I'm not going to say that, Jay. Keep it clean.
Who else is at the bar, Jay? Jay, you know who else is at the bar? The entire
bar.
Organizations of the Atlanta Braves.
Hey, and you know what's funny? I think they met the Boston Red Sox over there, and Boston was asking for tips on how to get to the postseason. How crazy it is to be alive. Shots fired. I'm gonna pay for this later. Hooker. Is it time now to start looking at him for the Heisman? I know we talk about Bryce Young. I know we talk about C.J. Stroud, but let's talk about the day that Hooker had against an illustrious Alabama Crimson Tide, which last I heard they got a flat tire and they are no longer rolling. The score was 21-30. The guy I apologize. He threw 21 for 30, 385 total yards, but he had 5 damn touchdowns. He did have a pick, but 5 touchdowns, and then he gave you another 56 yards on the ground. Young did have a pretty impressive day himself. Won 35 of 52 for 455 and 2 touchdowns. Again, Gibbs, which I said was going to be the X factor most likely, I thought, in this game if Bryce Young did not play. He did give you 24 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then he gave you another 48 yards on the ground. So he had a good day. But outside of Hooker, I think the next big standout was wide receiver for Tennessee, Hyatt, at 6 catches, 207, and 5 touchdowns. And I'm going to be honest with you, the total yards between the two teams was a wash. It was only 2 yards difference between the two. But Alabama's penalties, their lack of discipline, which is really weird under a Nick Saban-led team, to show the lack of discipline that they had 17 penalties for 130 yards. You cannot win any game when you got 17 penalties at 130 yards. That's almost half or close to half of what his passing yards were. So how crazy is that? Alabama now loses. How far do you think that they slide now that they lost to Tennessee? That's my warm-up. Johnathon Mathis, go.
You know, I don't know how far down they will slide, but they're definitely going to slide. You know, college football wants them in the playoff picture no matter what. But they're definitely going to slide, but they still control their destiny in their part of the conference, in their particular region, even though they have 1 loss now. Alabama, yes, you're right. They look very undisciplined. There was a lack of discipline. There was a lack of preparedness. They've been coming into games not as organized as they usually are. And that's unusual for a team that is, as you mentioned, is led by Nick Saban. Nick Saban usually coaches teams that are well-disciplined, that are mentally prepared for situations like this. But I knew this coming into this game. I had a feeling that Tennessee would take care of business at home. This was a big game for them. Alabama was bound to lose one on their upcoming schedule, just the way they have been performing. There's times this season that Alabama have looked out of character, and they almost let a few games slip away. They just didn't play that dominant Alabama football. And we saw that again, despite the fact that they put up a lot of points. Tennessee just was the better team this afternoon. Tennessee put it in to 15 years of misery at the hands of Alabama on Saturday. They pulled off the upset against the number 3 Crimson Tide, and it was a great game. You know, and I'll tell you this, the Vols kicker, Chase Mcgrath, he'll never have to pay for another meal in his life in Knoxville because he's a hero after today. Drilling that 40-yard field goal as time expired to lift his team to victory. What a way to win the game. But you talked about Jalen Hyatt. The kid was spectacular today. He caught a school record 5 touchdowns, and Tennessee clearly improved to 6-0. And I can't say enough about Hendon Hooker and the quarterback that he is. He's one of the best signal callers in the country. He has, solidified his play on the field. He has elevated his team. And I will say that it's fair to say that he is a Heisman hopeful, that he will be on Heisman watch because he has looked like an absolute stud and he has clearly, put this team on his shoulders and carried his team to victory. So, I mean, Hooker is doing his thing. I think people are paying close attention to him now. They know that he's for real after today. And it was just a great win for Tennessee, a resounding win for Tennessee. The program has taken a turn for the better, and now they certainly look like a team to be reckoned with.
Jonathan, I swear to God, I don't know if that was a take or a dissertation. Wow, that was a lot of information. No, very well put. Very well put. As always, very well put. Frankie the Yankee, and then Big Shot. You're gonna wrap this one up. Frankie the Yankee, man, what the hell happened to Alabama?
I don't know, man. Like what Jonathan said, Alabama hasn't been playing really good football as of late. They've been playing from come behind football, and that's not gonna win you any games. But I do give it to Alabama. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Okay.
That's okay. I understand. Right now, I know where your score is at. So I know you're.
Yeah, I'm right now on the verge of starting to cry soon. But, but Jay, listen. I give credit to Alabama. They fought back. They were down 28-10, about to go into the half. Ended up, getting I think another touchdown. Ended up being 28-17. And, they fought back, and they did have the lead at one point, but the defense I guess they were just too tired because, honestly, this entire game, the defense played more than the offense. And, it's not going to – like I said, it's not going to win you games when you have your defense on the field too long or when you're playing from come-behind football. It's just not going to do you well. But I do give Tennessee the credit. Tennessee played really great. They're looking good this year. And, this is the first win for Tennessee in 15 years to beat Nick Saban and Alabama. So congratulations, Tennessee. I'm not a hater. Yes, I like Alabama because of Nick Saban, but I can't hate on a loss or a win, depending on, on a good one at that. This was a really good game. Like Rob said to us privately on the chat, this is honestly could be the game of the year in college football. And it was a really good one. How far I see Alabama sliding down, I'd probably say they probably go number 5.
Yeah, Rob, a couple of things. Number one, I do want to point out what Mr. Head said in the private chat. He said Alabama's soft. I've been saying they're soft. I thought they were soft when they went up against Texas, and we damn near beat them with our second string, even third string quarterback. I think if viewers had been in that game all 4 quarters, I don't think Bama walks out of Texas with the win. I think we look at A&M. We saw how close he came to A&M and almost coming away with the loss there too. And then we go to Tennessee at number 6. And Tennessee was really coming off their win. So you just had to know the stars were in alignment, that this Alabama team, honestly, just is not as good as previous teams in the past. My question to you, though, Rob, is this. Everybody's looking at Young. Everybody's looking at C.J. Stroud. Everybody's looking at everybody and anybody. But we have not really talked about Hooker so much. And given his performance in this game, how do we not look, or should we be looking more at Hooker as a Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, I think we definitely should. I mean, anytime you beat a team like Alabama, you should definitely get your props. And this guy had a hell of a game, Hendon Hooker. I mean, 21 of 30, like you said before, 385 yards. That's a 12.8 passing average. 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. So this guy definitely deserves his due. This game was a total shootout. As bad as Alabama played in the first half, being down 28-10, the game still came down to a field goal. And Alabama had a chance to take the lead at the end with a 50-yard field goal, and they just missed it. And then Tennessee was able to get the ball back and get that big throw to the guy, Jalen Hyatt, and they were able to kick the knuckleball field goal to win the game. So, it was pretty much a back-and-forth game. The second half, it could have gone either way. But, we know Alabama's never out of a game, especially when you got a coach like Nick Saban and you got great players on your team. Alabama's never out of a game. So you could be up whatever 30-0 on them or whatever. You got to keep going.
I agree.
You got to keep scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's what I was telling Frankie when it was like second half. I was saying like how well Tennessee was playing, and then Frankie chimed in, and he wasn't wrong when he said, "Hey, don't sleep in Alabama, Jay." And I'm like, "You're right. I've seen Alabama, come back before, and I'm like, you're right. We shouldn't sleep on them." But man, just a hard fought game. You got to throw some problems. But I want to turn our attention real quick, if I may. A game that's not really talked or has not really been talked a lot about, but has a lot of weight. Let's talk about Oklahoma State at number 8 going against Texas Christian University, TCU, at 13. And if you looked at that game, Oklahoma State came out pretty damn fast and aggressive. And then TCU slowed the pace down, came back, and took it away from them at 43-40. And like I said, they had that big second half. Duggan went 23 of 40 for 286 and 2. And their TCU running back had a great game at 104 on 22 carries and 2 touchdowns. And then their wide receiver Johnston gave you 180 and a touchdown. And then they put him out at 510 total yards to Oklahoma State's 386. And I look at this team across the board in this game at TCU, and when they went against Oklahoma State, number 8, and they really had a very well-balanced number 1 game plan, but number 2 performance. And that defense, it did bend. It didn't all the way break, and TCU was able to hold on and come back and take that win. I mean, how impressive is that for TCU? Johnathon Mathis.
Very impressive for TCU. The Horned Frogs, though, they have always been well coached. They have always had a pretty decent football program. So to see them hang tough with Oklahoma State, it's not much of a surprise. But they played collectively. They played a great brand of football. They looked like they would lose the game at one point, but they made those adjustments. And they, like you said, they slowed down the tempo. They slowed down the pace of that game, was able to, find some rhythm, and they came away with a victory. And I would say that they made quite a statement today with that win over Oklahoma State.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Big shot Rob, man. What was your thought process on TCU versus Oklahoma State? Rob, you there?
Dugan,
right,
the
Rob,
quarterback for TCU.
There you are. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he was 23 40 for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then you had the running back, Kendre Miller, had 22 carries, 104 yards for 2 touchdowns as well. And, you look at TCU, man, they're just rolling, man. Right now that they're rolling. I mean, they're 6-0, 3-0 in the conference. I mean, they're just rolling, and I know Mike Gundy's pretty mad, probably saying to himself, I'm a man, I'm 40. Well, you put up 40 points today, but it wasn't enough. TCU wins by a field goal, 43-40. But, Oklahoma State's still a very good team, 5-1, 2-1 in the conference. They're going to be hard to beat down the road as well. But I'm happy to see TCU pull this one out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Frankie, if you're not crying over there, as we know it's top of the third right now, and you're down 2-0. What did you think about the TCU game, brother?
No, I'm not. I'm not crying yet. But it was a good game. Honestly, I've been watching TCU since they beat Oklahoma and basically knocked them out of the top rankings. And oh damn it. But TCU is people need to look at this team and start recognizing that TCU is here to play. They're here to do something, and they're gonna I think that they're gonna make it into the playoffs, and I think they're gonna do real well in the playoffs. I'm not gonna say they're gonna make it to the championship round, but I do see them winning some type of championship in one of those what do you call it, like 50 Fiesta Bowls and stuff like that. There's so many of them, I can't even name them all, but I can see TCU doing something. So congratulations to TCU and keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, they really have been putting together a pretty good program over at TCU, and they have for a while. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't keep it with TCU a whole lot, but I believe LaDainian Tomlinson came out of TCU way back in the day.
He did. Yeah.
Way back in the day.
He did. And
So
I remember when Andy Dalton led that team in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they were
TCU's
good.
always had a fairly decent program. For a hot minute now, they've had a pretty good, and that's a private school, so that just kind of gives you an idea. Real quick, I'm going to roll into this NC State game versus Syracuse. Number 15 ranked NC State versus 18 Syracuse. 9 to 24 was the score. I do want to point out, and I get it. Look, man, it's going to look as I'm making an excuse, but we all know if you take out your general and you put in a second general.
Oh, my God.
You're not as good.
I'm just saying, but I'm not going to say a whole lot. I just want to state the real quick facts, and I'm going to let you guys say what you got to say. NC State quarterback Leary was out of the game. Schrader came in. He did all right. He gave you 16 at 25 for 210, but he had a 2 touchdown, 2 interception day. And then when you look at it, but I'll tell you right now, what hurt NC State the most wasn't so much that they had to go to their second string quarterback. What hurt them the most was their lack of being able to run the ball. For crying out loud, they averaged 2.5 yards a carry rushing. So that really, I thought, hurt them the most. And Syracuse defense was just too much for that second string quarterback in that running game. So again,
it's high, it's far, it is gone, Aaron Judge, motherfuckers.
So again, as Frankie has an ambulism, I just want to say, man, hey, great game by Syracuse. I don't want to take nothing away from these guys. Orangeman came out, NC State dropped the ball, and they got the win. Johnathon Mathis, real quick, because I got a whole bunch of other crap to get through. What do you think about this NC State Syracuse?
Jonathan, hold on, Jonathan. Jay, that home run was specifically for you for talking all that shit about Aaron Judge earlier. Thank you.
Frankie,
go ahead, Jonathan.
I've been telling you since day one. If I talk a lot of smack on Aaron Judge, and you know that everything I say goes the opposite, don't you think I'm doing that to help you?
So
calm
continue
your roll,
talking shit.
relax.
Continue talking that shit.
Hey, have a drink and just chill on the couch for a minute until I call upon you. Johnathon Mathis, I'm sorry for Frankie's interruption. Could you please give us your NC State Syracuse rundown?
Well, let's talk about Syracuse and how well they're playing. They're undefeated. They're 6-0 this season in the ACC. And you know, the Orange man, I felt like they set the tone early in this game on that opening kickoff, and they scored in short fashion, driving 65 yards in 5 plays in just 2 minutes of play. So they got on the board early. They set the tone early. You know, they played a great football game, you know, and Syracuse looks really, really impressive right now. They look really, really impressive. But again, we're talking about a school that really hasn't played anybody, you know, but yet this was a big game on their schedule. So, I mean, they started a season with 6 wins for just the 3rd time since 1935. You know, taking advantage of the absence of the Wolfpack's injured star quarterback. You know, so I think for NC State losing their quarterback, it is a tough adjustment for them. Obviously, they should have ran the ball more, knowing that they didn't have him. You know, like you said earlier. But I think them being without their star quarterback is a huge loss for them. And Syracuse, you know, they just jumped on them early and took them out of the game and came away with the victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for making that short. I love you, Jonathan. I love your ass. You know I love you, Jonathan. I'm going to give you – you got the best soliloquies I've ever heard in my life. And if I ever die and I want a eulogy, I'm going to have you give it.
That was as short as the Dodgers playoff wins.
Hey, big shot Rob, man. Now that Jonathan's speech took up 2 innings, Jonathan, I'm so kidding. I'm playing with you. You know I'm playing with you. I love you. No, for real. Okay, let's be serious for a minute. I know you're a Syracuse guy. Like you said, you're not too far from Syracuse. What did you – and I know you picked Syracuse to win this game. You know, let me ask you – I got 2 questions. Number one, how do you feel about the win? And number two, how do you feel about the win knowing that you did not go against their best quarterback?
Well, that kind of sucks because you always want to beat a team when they're at their best, and you want their starting quarterback to be there. Obviously, Dennis Leary's out for the year, torn pectoral muscle, so that sucks for North Carolina State. Otherwise, I think it would have been, a different game. It's good for Syracuse. They got the win. They're 3-0 in the conference now. Overall 6-0, right behind Clemson. Speaking of Clemson, checked earlier, they were down 14-7 to Florida State, playing down there in Tallahassee. So that looks like an interesting game tonight. We'll see what happens if Florida State could pull the upset or Clemson could survive. But you look at Syracuse today. I was really impressed by Rondé Gadsden the second. He is the son of the former Dolphin, Rondé Gadsden the first, who played with the Dolphins for a while. I remember Rondé Gadsden was a great wide receiver. He used to make some incredible catches. He was tall, very strong receiver. But Rondé Gadsden the second today had 8 receptions for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you look at that Syracuse rushing attack. They had a little nice 1-2 punch. Sean Tucker carried the ball for 14 times, 98 yards and a touchdown. And you had Garrett Schrader carry the ball 16 times for 81 yards. As far as the quarterback, he had an okay day too. 16 to 25, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. It's a QBR of 78.5. So not a bad day. Syracuse, they look good. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer game, but obviously not having the quarterback definitely hurt them, and it's good that the Orange Men were able to pull out that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Frankie the Yankee, for the love of God.
J. Astro.
Can you please give me just a short synopsis about a game that does not matter?
I got you, bro. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
It don't matter who's your quarterback. You should always have the mentality of next man up. Syracuse Orange, baby. Keep it rolling. Let's go. By the way, Jay, I'm going to need you to call Dusty Baker, and I need you to tell him that you need to get a run here because I'm tired of watching this game.
Listen. Look. Hey, Frankie, I would love to. They're in the bottom of the damn 13th inning, for crying out loud.
You're about to run out of
pitchers. I'm pretty sure Dusty – hey, look, right now they are past Dusty's bedtime. Dusty is currently in the clubhouse taking a nap, and the bench coach is running the damn team, and I don't have his number, so relax.
Can I ask you a serious question, though? Not to get off topic.
Go ahead.
Why does Dusty Baker always wear the black medical gloves?
Because he is susceptible to COVID, and so it's just a measure to help him from contracting COVID. Honestly, he's in his 80s. Bro, the man's in his freaking 80s. He's got – look, come on.
I was just asking because I've seen him.
I know, and I'm just telling you
the black gloves.
I think – did he have it once already?
Hey, Jonathan, don't feed into it. I got a lot to go through, Jonathan. Don't feed into it. We got a lot to talk about today, okay? Real quick, the next biggest game this evening, which, again, not a lot of people are talking about, is this USC and Utah. If you know anything about Utah, they were at one time ranked within the top 10, and then Florida took them out of it, and now they're back to 20 and trying to get back, and we know USC is a little soft. So, again, we're not going to talk about this game. I'm just saying it's going to be amazing to see if Utah can beat USC. We've kind of already talked about this. I don't want to go through too much of that. I want to kind of get more into this Mississippi State and Kentucky game, which I don't – correction, let me go first to Kansas at number 19 getting the upset. And I believe – no, did Kansas get – yeah, Kansas City. Kansas got upset by OU today, 52-42. So I believe that will put OU back into the rankings. Am I correct?
Possibly, yeah. They're 4-3. They're 1-2.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. Kansas, you couldn't even get past freaking OU. And OU been on the decline for a hot minute now, but that's okay. The Mississippi game, I believe, is going on right now. I don't really want to get too much involved in a 16 versus 22. I'm just going to give you a quick update on that score because I want to get into this MLB recap, which, let's be honest, that's what we all give a damn about at this point anyway. But I do want to give you that quick update score. Right now, oh my God, the damn score is 3-0. Okay, that tells you all you need to know. The score between Mississippi State and Kentucky is 3-0. FSU, however, and Clemson are tied at 14, and USC is beating Utah 14-7. Okay, that brings us all up to date on college.
What quarter is the Mississippi
football.
game? What quarter is the Mississippi game?
The Mississippi game is currently, stand by one, please. It is 1:35 left to go in the second, so they're almost at halftime.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that just tells you something. Real quick.
What a game.
Real
Rob,
quick.
cut it out,
Hey,
Rob.
real quick. Just like I can't say this. Okay, I can't. Okay, you know what? I can't say this on because I'm not gonna embarrass Logan like that. But I'm just saying.
Embarrass him.
No, I'm not. No, because what I really want to say would be inappropriate. I'll tell you in the group chat. But I will say this, Logan. As short as your life on Earth has been, so is your playoff team's second go around after the World Series. Literally, the Braves had, let's say, a good moment in life at the World Series, and then they turned around and had a quickie and were put onto the couch in a shut-up game by Philly. How good it is to be alive. Morton came out. I think he got hurt or something happened because he didn't last very long, and he was quickly cast aside. But let's be honest. In this series, what I learned is a couple of things. The first thing I learned is that Castellanos, Harper, Hoskins, good God, man. They look pretty damn good. They look freaking good. Nola pitched great in the 9-1 win for them. Wheeler kind of sucked in that 3-0 loss, but Suarez just looked great if you go back to game 1. So what I learned is that Philly has a really potent offense, pretty good pitching, and at the end of the day, Strider got that beautiful contract, had 200 strikeouts, looked like the best thing since sliced bread and Tom Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox combined, had the stash like Cortez, and then just stuck up the joint like a $2 hooker trying to get $1.25 in cab money to get home. God, what a time to be.
Can I get one of those?
What a time to be alive in baseball. I'm just saying, Logan, what a time. I know Logan's around a fire pit right now, stuffing his little chubby cheeks with that birthday cake, sucking it down like a champ. And I just want you to know.
He's just sucking it down like a champ. Yeah, I can't with you, Jay.
He's eating like a fat kid that loves cake.
That your team is garbage poo-poo, and Pride's team is right there with you, sucking it down at the bar, taking tips.
All I know
taking tips from the minor leaguers over at the G Club. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Jay, all I know is I heard that the MLB, higher ups, they went to Atlanta and by game 2, and they took back that World Series trophy and put it in a box and shipped it back to their headquarters because they knew that Atlanta didn't deserve it.
That's funny you say that because you know what I heard, Frankie? You know what I heard?
Yeah, what did you hear?
I heard that the Phillies owner, I heard the Atlanta Braves owner called up Jim Crane personally and said, hey, can I get Jeff Leno and Hinch's phone numbers because I need a few trash cans sent my way. Okay. I mean, that's so fucking good. I can't even. I should have let that off my comedy act. Anyway, let's turn the tide over to Johnathon Mathis for a minute. Johnathon, I need to know about this Phillies and Braves, and what did you learn? What did you learn? Because let me be honest, Johnathon. If you're able to survive the Padres, and at this point, that's a big if, you may have to face this Phillies team. So what did you learn from the Phillies as they destroyed the Atlanta Braves?
This improbable run continues. Their joyride continues. It's been a magical season for them. And what I've learned is that when a team gets hot in the postseason, they're nearly impossible to beat. And that's what we're seeing from the Phillies. I think the Phillies have built on this momentum. They have carried it with them into the postseason. and they look like a team that suddenly cannot be beaten. Now, they trounced the defending champions of a final score 8-3. The Phillies right now are a team you don't want to face. I don't care if you're the Dodgers or the Padres. This is a team you clearly don't want to face. Now, their bullpen can be a bit suspect, but they definitely have the hitters in their lineup. You know, Nick Castellanos, the contract that was given to him is starting to pay off. It's showing that he was worth every penny because he is showing up at the right time. Now, this is a guy who put up his worst numbers during the regular season. You know, and now he has followed it up with excellent postseason play. I mean, he has really lived up to the hype, and he has come into his own during the postseason. And then Bryce Harper is living up to those expectations as well. He had a homer today. He homered the other night as well. And then JT Realmuto, one of the best. Always
Real Muto.
His name.
He's a former Marlin.
Hey, how you say that name? Realmuto.
Hey, but this
wrap it up, Jonathan. We got a lot to go. Wrap it up.
This is a guy who hits with power as well, and he put the wheels on today because he had an inside the park home run today.
Hold on, Jonathan. Can you say that again for my boy Logan Landers, who's an Atlanta Braves fan?
Yeah, that inside. Go ahead.
He on the wheels today, and he hit an inside the park home run.
Oh, how beautiful it is for you to say
How
that.
beautiful is that? By the way, if you like Johnathon Mathis soliloquies, he'll be back here on Saturday. You better tune in. Jonathan, I love your ass.
So this Phillies team is for real. And this Phillies team is a team that can't be beaten right now.
Man, listen, hey, I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I do agree with the defense and the offense that the Phillies provide. They are going to be one hell of a matchup. No doubt. Look, there's no doubt about it in my mind. Big shot, Rob.
Yeah, I agree.
Go
this Philly
easy on
team
Logan,
is
okay? He's very, very tender right now. Go easy, but give Logan a Monty.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. This Phillies team kind of reminds me of the Braves last year that went all the way to the World Series and won. So they definitely got a great possibility of doing that, no matter who they play, whether it's the Padres or Dodgers. You've seen a lot of wild card teams in the past get hot at the right time and get that momentum at the end of the regular season and ride that all the way to the World Series and win. I know my Marlins did it back in '97. They also did it in 2003 against Frankie's Yankees. So that was twice when they were the wild card team. But, yeah, you've seen it a lot. You know, I was really impressed by this Phillies team, the way they just dominated the Braves, the way they hit the ball, just everything they did. It was just, so impressive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Real quick before Frankie gives this part, I just want to chime in real quick that I want you to understand just how long this game is going. We're like in the 13th, 14th inning. The Yankees are damn near at the top of the fourth, and we're still trying to get a run. Holy crap. I'll be honest with you. I will tell you this. Whoever bought a ticket to this playoff game got their money's worth out of this shit. Okay? You got your money's worth out of this game. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. Frankie, man. Thought process, man. I know you got a lot to say to Babyface.
Oh, where should I begin?
That's where she said.
Let me start off by saying congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Absolutely.
You guys literally were third place in your division, a wild card team, fought really hard to get to where you guys are at, and you guys are in the NLCS. Bryce Harper, this has been a long time coming, a man who got traded away from the Washington Nationals, and that team won a championship a year later, getting rid of him. It was heartbreaking for him. I know that for a fact. And now he gets the opportunity after getting hurt in the middle of the season, coming back, looking fantastic. He's looking great right now in the playoffs, and it's well-deserved for him and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now for JT getting that inside the park home run. Oh, let me say it again. Inside the park home run. For those of you who are not baseball fans, let me break it down. Inside the park home run is when you hit the ball so far back It hits the wall. It bounced off. The player can't get to it. And the runner literally runs around every single base. And the players cannot even get the man to get out. What a time to be alive for that
It
to
is a
happen
time
in
to
the
be like
playoffs.
you don't see that very often. But
don't.
Frankie, that also tells me, Frankie, and I watched that play. That also tells me that outfielder, when he was playing that ball, put himself in a position that when he knew it was going to hit the wall, he was not prepared. He was not in the right spot to get it. So when it angled off, it just screwed him over.
Not only that,
That was just a bad
judgment
call on this
when it bounced off the wall, Jay, if you relook at that, it bounced off the wall. It looked like he gave up on it. It looked like he jogged.
Oh yeah, no, and again, I agree with you. I believe me, I watched it. I totally agree with you on that.
And you know what
I want to kind of get in.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Toronto had an inside the park home run on the Boston Red Sox. What a special time to be alive for that to happen to the Red Sox and the Braves in the same year. And both men who are on ASAP, unscripted, not here to get the shit talk. Oh, it's so amazing. It's so amazing.
You know what's funny? Can I just say one thing real quick without being too graphic? But how crazy is this? If you have a friend of yours, before we get into Astros and Mariners, because that's a whole different topic. But if you have a friend of yours whose husband is from Georgia and is a diehard UGA Bulldogs fan, and then he's married to a woman that's from Tennessee and is a diehard Volunteers fan to the point that she has the checkered suspenders and she goes all out. Do you know that when Tennessee beat Alabama today, he's going to have to perform tonight in their intimate moments like Tennessee did against Bama? Let that sink in for a minute because he's got a lot to live up to. Wow, what a time to be alive in his house. Astros Mariners. Man, what a time to be alive. Astros and Mariners, what a time to be alive. We saw what they did, 2-0. We go into today's game. They're currently in the top of the 14th. Astros up 2 outs. And I believe it is McCormick going against Festa. Currently, the Seattle Mariners have used 6 relief pitchers. The Astros have used, I believe, 7 pitchers. And I will tell you, one of the 7 just finished up on the bottom of the 13th, and he was Hunter Brown, the guy they called up from the minor leagues, and he's pitched 2 innings of shutout ball. I mean, look, guys, if you're not watching this game, you're missing probably one of the best pitching defensive gems of all of baseball. Period, bar none. Literally.
Yeah, I have it on right now.
Incredible. Jonathan.
Sorry, I'm not watching.
I know you're not because you're a Yankees guy. We'll get to you in a minute. Jonathan. Jonathan, oh my God, do you hear me?
I hear you.
You're up, Bubba. You're up. Mariners, Houston, what do you got?
Man, this has, like you said, this has been a pitching gem. Both teams are throwing the ball really well. Both pitchers from each team. The relievers are holding it down right now. And, you know, a lot of people don't like games that's scoreless, but I'm not one that really is a huge fan of scoreless games either. I like to see offense, but it's been one of those defensive games, you know, and eventually someone's got to break the tie and win this game. I just hope that it's not Seattle losing a heartbreaker when all those fans showed up in Seattle today hoping for a win, their first playoff win in a dozen years. Their first playoff appearance in a dozen years.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no doubt about it in my mind on that. Big shot Rob, man.
Over a dozen years.
Hey, Houston and Seattle, man. You know, Seattle went down. They did a hell of a good job game 1. Alvarez gets the walk-off. They go down game 2. Alvarez will come back in like the 6th inning, give you that spark of a home run that puts them in the lead, so forth. We come to game 3, and it's like you can't buy a hit. Or not, you can buy a hit. You just can't buy a run. I mean, how crazy is this game, brother?
Yeah, it's a crazy game, man. And I think the further it goes on, the further to me it favors the Astros, because I mean they have more experience than the Mariners with all the guys they have. They've been in this situation before, so I think it's a really close game. The Mariners are going to need a spark or something to pull this out, but I think I got to give this game to the Astros, man. It would be devastating for the Mariners to lose, only because they're at home, but. It's hard to bet against the Astros, man. They're such an experienced team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Damien Hernandez, hold off on the Padres Tatis debacle. When I get to that series, we will address that. I want to stay on point right quick. But, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the Padres series. He also says, I wish I wasn't watching this damn game. You know what? The fact that you're watching it and you can't do nothing about it because your team sucks a-holes just makes me smile. Number two, we get to this game, and the more I watch this game goes on, it's just incredible. And let me ask you this, Frankie, I'm gonna give this question to you. The Astros have 2 starters in their bullpen. They have Garcia in their bullpen, and they have Urquidy in their bullpen, both of which are starters, both of which can go long-term, both of which are quality pitchers. Why would you go through, let's say, 4 starters when you can go through 1 or 2 starters and say 5 extra pitchers for, the next game if necessary?
Jay, I don't know what or why Houston do what they do. All right, I don't know
what
why
I
they
mean?
do this. I know what you mean. I think the reason they're doing it is because you're saying Garcia's a starter. He's actually in right now.
They finally brought him in. I just don't understand why he wasn't the first reliever to come up.
The ball is up. It is high. Oh, Alvarez finally did something amazing on defensive side of the ball. But I think the reason the Houston Astros did this, Jay, is because, like you said, Garcia's a starter. What if they need him for tomorrow? If they can get him to just pitch this 1 inning with maybe 10 pitches or less, maybe 15 or less, his arm will still be okay for you guys tomorrow if Seattle. That's a big if Seattle can win this game tonight. The same with the other guy. I saw his name. I couldn't pronounce it.
Javier. I'm sorry. I know I said Urquidy. Actually, they had
Garcia, it is
Urquidy, and they had 3 starters in their lineup: Javier, Urquidy, and Garcia. They had actually 3.
Yeah. So if you had Urquidy is still the last available bullpen pitcher for you guys in this game. So if Garcia could get through this inning, and then maybe you guys go through the 15th and have Urquidy come in. Having them pitch maybe 10 or 15 or less pitches in an inning, I feel like it'll be fine just for them to come in and start a game for you guys. Because
that makes sense. What you're saying, because then you reserve your potential starters in case something goes wrong. You can bring those. You had those potential starters in reserves.
Exactly.
Okay, I get that. That makes sense.
And then when they start tomorrow, they might not last as more as maybe 5 innings because they pitched the night before. So, like you were saying, you have those other people that tomorrow they pitched already early on today, so they get a little bit of more rest. So when these guys go ahead and pitch at least 5 innings tomorrow, they can come in and do their job.
And the reason I ask you that, Frankie, is simple. Verlander has publicly gone on record saying he does not like more than 4 days rest. He prefers 4 days rest, and he wants to be pitching. So what I'm saying is this would if this game, if the Seattle wins tonight and they got to pitch the next day, that should be Verlander's start. That's what I'm you know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I do agree with you because it's the same way with the Yankees. If the Yankees cannot win tonight, Garrett Cole will pitch their next game, who actually just pitched game 1. And the reason for that is, like just me and you, Well, in my case, I'll be more behind than you are. Um, so I know why we will do it. But for you guys, it will be to just end this game and go on to the next series. The best choice for that is to actually put in Verlander, and I agree with Verlander. Sometimes those starting pitchers that are so unique and talented, especially like Justin Verlander, who is in my case the Cy Young Award winner this year, he shouldn't have a 4 day rest because if he does, he's gonna get rusty again, Jay. He didn't look good in game one, and that's because he had one hell of a long rest after pitching in the regular season. You can't give somebody like that a long time to rest his arm. Yes, I understand you want to rest his arm, but if you want to rest it that long, he's not going to come in and be that top ace that he normally does. Like you said, Verlander, yes, he gives up a couple of runs in the first, 2, 3 innings, and then he comes back and takes over after that. But you want Verlander to take over the entire game. You don't want to give him give up no runs
Right.
at all.
I think game one with Verlander was more of a rust, getting the rust off and getting back into the rhythm for him. And I
Mm-hmm.
think having that long of a layoff for him just wasn't good. And so I feel like, Verlander has to pitch tomorrow just to keep him in his rotation. Because, one thing we know about baseball is this: players love routine and superstitions. And it's all mental. With these guys, it's all mental. And so my point, God, that was a good freaking catch. Son of a bitch. No, that was safe actually. I thought he caught that. But they love routine, they love superstition. It's all mental. And I feel like when you start messing with that, you start messing with them. And that's why I feel like you've got to have Verlander, in there tomorrow, to keep him in his mode, right? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Rob Scott says, "What's up, fellas? Rob, you about a day late and a dollar short to the party, but we love you, Rob. Rob, we love you, brother." All right, man. Listen, enough of this Astros. Jesus, this game is still going on. I don't think it's ever going to end. Um, let's go on to the next series, if we can, and that would be the Yankees and Guardians, which we know just got underway, and currently it is 2-2, top of the fifth. And Frankie, I want you to lead this. First of all, I want you to tell me a couple of things. The first thing I want you to tell me is what's your thought process now on Judge and where he goes from here and how he goes from here, and does he bounce back in your opinion? Number one. Number two, which we kind of know he did because we know he got that big home run. But again, number two, Nestor Cortez, in my opinion, besides Cole, is your second ace in the hole. I believe you have Severino tonight. What if you get the win tonight? That would tie you up 2-2. What do you look like, or what are you looking for in Game 5 when you get Cole back? And how do you look at this series going forward?
Well, let me correct you. This is game three, Jay. If we win, we lead the series 2-1. But
Okay, I apologize. Yeah, man. But yeah, go ahead.
Oswaldo Cabrera, 2-run home run, baby. Let's go, rookie.
Come on, let's go, Frankie. Talk into the mic. Tell me what you're thinking.
Aaron Judge, like I said to you earlier, I'm just so excited right now. I was about to cry earlier, but now I'm so excited. But like I told you earlier, me and you, we talked privately, and you asked me this, and I told you, Aaron Judge, I feel like is more comfortable playing better at away games because he gets, I wouldn't say under pressure at home. I say he gets like uncomfortable because you have our fan base that are behind him always chanting MVP, not giving him the quiet treatment like when he is at an away game. And as I seen today, he wasn't taking crazy swings. He wasn't chasing like he has been the first two games. He's letting the pitches come to him, and I think he's gonna bounce back from here on out. We just had to wait and see when he's up again. But for the Yankees, I think, if we win today, we already, had, like I said earlier, we already had all of our three starters go. I think Garrett Cole will start the next game just so we can, try and get that win and end the series, which would be the best way because right now Garrett Cole is the only pitcher that won us a series or a game in this series. I apologize. Nestor Cortez didn't get a loss in the last night's game. It ended up being Jameson Tyone who's actually coming off the bullpen, which is mind-blowing to me because Jamison Tyone, I think, was an okay pitcher for us. But, I see Garrett Cole starting the next game, game 4, to end it.
I got a quick question for you before I roll into Johnathon Mathis. And Jonathan, I'm giving an extra question. That way, you can talk about these things as well when this comes your turn. Because again, these are some pretty big things that I want to kind of get both of you guys' opinion on. But I only want to ask it one damn time. So here's the deal, Frankie. When I look at your team, your pitching honestly has not been at its top notch. It just hasn't, Frankie, and you know that. That's
It
why
turned around.
That's why
It
you're.
turned around
That's why
after
you're.
All-Star
What
break.
I'm saying is, what I'm saying is where your pitching is currently, where your hitting is currently. Because we know that Judge, yes, thank God, he came through tonight. But Frankie, as unbiased reporters, as unbiased people, I want to take personal things out of it. Even with the Astros, we got to take personal crap out of it. With the way in which you're pitching currently with the Cleveland Guardian, which we know Cleveland has not always been, top notch. They've slid down, they came back up in their division, and you are kind of struggling. Not struggling because you're 1-1. I don't want to minimize what you have done. I'm just picking. I am picking apart a little bit, Frankie. Okay, I'm just picking apart a little bit, and you can pick apart the Astros too. Trust me, you can pick apart Altuve, like Pride was talking about earlier. I've been so angry right now with Altuve, and he'll trying too damn hard and going out of what he's supposed to be doing. So we all have the same issue. I'm just asking from your professional podcasting standpoint, if you look at your team from an outside lens, and you look at your pitching and you look at your hitting, is it number one where you want it to be? And number two, if you do beat the Guardians and you do make it to the ALCS, and you do up, and if we can get it out of where we are, if we get to it, if it is Houston going against the Yankees, can you get away with the pitching in the state that it's in against the Stros?
All right, I'll be real. I'll be real with you. Maybe our first 2 starters will be able to, Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole. Luis Severino hasn't looked good at the beginning of this game. He's finally clicking on. He's pulling a Justin Verlander tonight, in my eyes, honestly. Giving up 2 runs. He pitched about almost 50 pitches within the first 2 innings. So I feel like if he's gonna play like that in the ALCS against the Houston Astros, that's gonna be a loss there. But the bullpen is what scares me the most. We're not fully healthy in the bullpen. We don't look good in the bullpen. Like I said, Jamison Tyone being in the bullpen, it's a good thing because he's a starter. So, I feel like that's good. Domingo Herman, he's in the bullpen. That's okay. But what scares me is Clay Holmes, our closer. That's what scares me. And if our bullpen isn't going to be top notch to secure a win, then we're going to have some trouble in the ALCS if we have to face the Houston Astros, realistically. Offensively, I think we could do a little bit better offensively. Josh Donaldson hasn't been looking good. Gleyber Torres hasn't been looking good. You get certain players that are playing good here and there. Game 1, we had Anthony Rizzo and Harrison Bader. Game 2, we had Giancarlo Stanton. Tonight we had Oswaldo Cabrera and Aaron Judge, the 2 people who we needed to turn around our team to get some scores on, or at least a win. So I feel like instead of that happening, we need everybody to step up offensively in every game, not just every other game or every game, a couple players here and there. We need everyone, every game, if you guys want to make it to the World Series or actually beat the Houston Astros in the ALCS.
I definitely agree with you. And again, I appreciate your transparency and your objective viewpoint on your own team. That's one of the hardest things to do as a podcaster is to separate yourself from the team in which you love and give the true unbiased viewpoint on it. So I appreciate that. Jonathan, to piggyback off that, number one, I got a couple of questions. Number one, Trey Mancini, in my opinion, played really well with the Orioles. And he comes to Houston, and he's not playing, in my opinion, at the level in which he was playing with the Orioles. And I'm really kind of disappointed in that because I figured he would carry that momentum over to us. And it just hasn't worked out that way to the point where you just saw him, if you're watching the game, you just saw him pop out on a lazy pop out on pitch 1, which I thought was kind of a ridiculous swing. That would be question one: is Trey Mancini's involvement in the Astros and the acquisition of which they brought in that was supposed to help them get to that next level. Number two is when you look at the Yankees bullpen, and again, if you look at the Astros when we went up against the Braves in the World Series, you knew that the Astros' weakness was the bullpen. It wasn't the starting pitcher. We were good on starting pitcher. But once you got past that, you got into the Astros bullpen, well, that's where we just kind of fell apart and we gave up runs and we couldn't capitalize. So with that being said, and then you kind of see the Yankees in a similar situation where they have great starting pitching, but their bullpen outside of Taillon isn't quite as where it needs to be. Going into a postseason as competition will certainly get harder. How do you answer those two specific questions, Trey Mancini and the Yankees bullpen, as the competition gets harder?
Well, to answer your question about Trey Mancini, he is not producing. He looks lost with his new team. He just doesn't look like the Trey Mancini that you've seen with the Orioles. And the reason he was brought over from the Orioles was to fill a hole at first base and be productive in that lineup. And it just hasn't panned out for him. He's making solid contact, I feel, with the ball. But he's been taking longer plate appearances, and he's just getting zero results for whatever reason. I don't know if it's still maybe butterflies. Maybe he's getting still adjusted to his new team, getting acclimated to, his new team, his new home, the change of scenery. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just the timing. Maybe he's just in a massive slump right now. That's my best guess about Trey Mancini right now. But I know at any time he can, start to come up with more hits. Hopefully that's sooner than later, because I think if his bat starts to heat up, that can ultimately be a huge difference for the Astros moving forward.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I definitely agree. So right now, again, the series is tied at 1 apiece. The current score is 2 apiece in Game 3. Who do you have winning this game, and then who do you have winning the series?
Well, I believe if this continues to go on, and if there's no score after a while, I think the Astros can come away winning this game. At this point in the game, it goes to the strongest and the team with the better bullpen.
I agree. And the crazy thing about that is, so Montas is on the 15-day IL currently. There's no way in hell Game 4 they're going to bring back. I know Frankie said they bring back Cole, but is that your opinion, or do you think they bring Taillon up out of the bullpen, take Game 4, and then roll it around if they win to Cole in Game 5? I think I'm going to lean more towards Frankie than Cole, because it probably will be a deciding factor. But what do you think?
I will lean more towards Cole, only because Frankie Montas has been disappointing since he put on the pinstripe jersey. And in order to get to Game 5, you have to pitch Garrett Cole. You have to go back.
And again, I believe Frankie is correct. I think you're correct.
You have to come back.
I was just curious, as if you have Taillon in the bullpen, though, could you bring him in and give Cole the extra relief? That's the only question I'm asking.
Yes.
But again, I think I bring in Cole, because If you bring in Trayvion and he sucks, and you didn't bring in Cole, the New York fans and everybody in baseball is going to want your head.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So yeah.
All right, let's get into. I want to move the show along a little bit. I want to get into this Dodgers and Padres, which is your bread and butter, Johnathon Mathis. I want to spend some time here because the game hasn't started. So I want to kind of dive in a little bit into this series. Right now, we know Padres are up 2-1 on your Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the series going into tonight's game? I don't have in front of me, and I should have wrote that. I don't have the starters for either one of those teams. If you know those, could you please announce them?
Yes.
And then give me your thought process.
Tyler Anderson gets the ball for the Dodgers. He's a guy who can come on and pitch scoreless innings. For the Padres, it's Joe Musgrove. And when he's on, he's another guy who can pretty much blank an offense as well. So those are the two guys starting for tonight.
Hey, can I say something? The Cleveland Guardians had already went to their bullpen and took McKenzie out. Booyah!
Oh, wow.
I want to be like,
and I want to correct myself. I was wrong when I said 2-2. Frankie, I so apologize to you and the New York fan base. The actual score is 4-2 because Oswaldo came up with the home run to give the 4-2. So I want to apologize. The current score is 4-2, and I would imagine that the Yankees would go up 2-1, which would put again. So we'll come back to that. Let's put that off to the side. We're going to come back to that question. But yeah, 4-2 in that Yankee series. I apologize, Jonathan. Dodgers, Padres. What do you think in Game 4?
Well, I'm hoping that the Dodgers can turn it around, but if the Dodgers continue to leave runners in scoring position, and not manufacture any runs, then they're going to lose this series. It's as simple as that. You have to score runs to win baseball games, and that's something they're not doing. And they've had plenty of chances to score runs, but they're not scoring runs. And it's frustrating. I was watching the game yesterday, and I got very frustrated because they kept leaving runners in scoring position, but they would come up empty each time. And if that's going to be the case today, then the Padres will win this game. The keys to victory tonight is to jump on the Padres early, attack.
You're going to have to jump on them early.
You're going to have to jump on them early. Right. And you're going to have to attack Joe Musgrove early and hopefully get to that Padres bullpen. And you're going to have to tack on some runs. If the Dodgers,
and we know what Musgrove brings. We know what he brings.
He brings heat. That's what he brings.
Yeah, he does. He brings heat, and he brings a pitching arsenal that is pretty damn good. And your guys, are going to have to step. They're going to have to step up.
Yep. And if they don't, they're going to be eliminated tonight. Now, if they do, then they will force a Game 5.
What a time to be alive. Frankie, before we get into this Dodgers Padres real quick, I do have one question to ask you. So, in your opinion, if the Yankees hang on to this 4-2 lead, and if they are able to, which they're in the top of the 6th now, if they are able to secure the win against Cleveland this evening, and you guys even the series up at 2 apiece, and you go into Game 5
2-1.
Or 2-1. I'm sorry, 2-1. I'm sorry. Man, I'm trying to keep them all in my head. I apologize. I'm not looking at paper. I'm looking to keep it in my head. So bear with me on this and correct me. If you guys go up 2-1, which actually makes my point even better. If you go up 2-1 against them, why do you want to rush Cole back if you need to? Could you not just throw Trayvion in there and hopefully he secures it and you rest Cole a little bit more? Or is it imperative that you put Cole in because you think maybe Trayvion is just not the guy and you want to get rid of the series quick?
We can't throw Trayvion out there because he's a bullpen pitcher now for this playoff series. They did not bring in Trayvion in the playoffs to be a starter. I don't know why.
So I didn't know that. I guess that is a rule that you can't take.
You can't take him out of the
relief
bullpen to be a starter. The best thing they can do is to have Garrett Cole pitch about maybe 5 innings. No, not tire his arm too much. Maybe 5, maybe 6 innings, and then bring in Tyone to
Yeah, I was
maybe
about to
pitch.
say, bring in Cole, and if anything goes left or right on you, then you got Tyon in the wings, and he can just take care of business.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. I want to get into now this Dodgers and Padres. Right now, again, Padres are up 2-1. We're going to go into the game here really, really. And they may already, well, they should already be into the game now. It's what, 9:28. What is your thought press Dodgers and Padres, please?
man, I've been on the same train since day one. I mean, everybody's been riding with the Dodgers because they have a top tier offense. They have great pitching, rotation, and everything like that, and they do. I give the Padres that. This team won 111 games, the best team in the MLB. You know, the first time the Dodgers have won 111 games
Worst
since
team in the postseason.
1920. But yes, Jonathan, you're right. When the postseason comes around, the Dodgers are not like what they look like in the regular season. To me, it looks like the Dodgers wasted too much energy in the regular season to not go into the playoff, to not go in the playoffs and be ready. Also, what I think is the Dodgers overlooked San Diego. Yes, they own them in the regular season, and I told Jonathan this because all season long, Jonathan has been saying, every time they go up against the Padres, oh, we own them, we own them. And I told Jonathan this. You guys own them, but you guys overlooked them in the playoffs. They came out heavy. They came out on fire. I feel like they're gonna keep it going, and I think they're gonna get the win tonight and end it and make my prediction come true because I said it since the series before the series start. I said Padres in 4, and Jonathan was like, "Whoa!" Now you're looking at it, Jonathan. My prediction might come true. Padres in 4.
You know what's interesting to me, guys, real quick, if I can interject before we move on out of this thing. So right now, Seattle has nobody left in the bullpen. It literally is now. They brought in Boyd. We're now going into the top of the 16th, and Boyd is going to come in right now as the relief. But after that, then they're going to be in their starting rotation for pitchers. How crazy it is to be alive. People don't understand, and Seattle never understood, and Mickey Delaney will never understand, is that our bullpen is so freaking deep. We got literally 3 starters in our bullpen that would give you 30 innings before we even had to even touch our starting rotation, our relief rotation. So, Mickey, just let that sink in for a minute. What a time to be alive.
I think you guys just made history, Jay. I think this is the first time in playoff history that a game has went to 16 innings.
Bro, I'm telling you, and this is not the kind of history I wanted. I wanted history where we were just done, over with, and we were rolling. But hey, Seattle, I'm gonna give them props. And Mickey Delaney, I'm gonna give you props. Hey, you guys are here, man, and you're not giving up. And it is what it is, man. Hey, let's keep going. We're top of the 16th. Jesus Christ. We are literally, Dodgers and Padres are delayed because their game is on Fox Sports 1, and so is Houston. So let that sink in for a minute.
There's too many games going on right now.
I'm just saying.
Well, I thought you was gonna say it's delayed because of rain, and it's been
raining. It's delayed because this Astros game is still going, and we don't give a damn about the freaking Dodgers.
Jay, but you guys aren't on Fox Sports 1. You guys are on TBS.
Are we on TBS?
Yes, yeah. TBS.
Oh, my bad. Well, then I don't know.
No, it's been raining. It's been raining lately in Southern California.
Hey, watch this. Hey, who gives a damn? You're delayed. Get over it. You're down 2-1. Stop it. Fucking love life. No, I'm just teasing. Hey, look, man. Hey, I'm sure if it gets delayed today, we'll just get one extra game on Sunday. Oh my God, they're going to compete with Sunday's football too. What a time to be alive! I don't care. I'm watching the game. Hey, if you had a chance, quick poll, no soliloquy, just tell me the team you're watching or sport you're watching. If they put this game to Sunday, and you got a choice between Dallas Cowboys and Eagles or Philly or Chiefs and Bills, and this game between Dodgers Padres, What you watching?
Can
Jonathan.
I go first? Oh, okay. Go ahead,
No,
Jonathan.
you go last. Jonathan.
Say that again.
If you had a choice between the Bills and Chiefs or the Dodgers and Padres or Cowboys Eagles versus the Dodgers Padres, what are you watching?
Ooh, I really don't want to miss that Bills Chief game. I think that's a must. Must.
Well, what are you watching, Jonathan?
He's wrong.
Hurry up.
He's wrong.
Contemplate your life in 3
I have to go
seconds.
with the Dodgers because I'm in the LA market and I live in
Good
LA.
point. Because if you would have said anything else, I would have called you a fake ass fan. Okay. Frankie, you already know the question. Who are you watching?
Real easy. I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles for many reasons. Philly, if they win, 6-0, first time since 2004. But if they lose and somehow the Giants end up winning, you have 3 teams in the NL East, or NL, look at me, in the NFC East who will be 5-1 tied for first place. This division matchup right here between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles is a must watch. The Chiefs and the Bills, you're going to see that in the playoffs where it matters.
Yeah, you will. You will.
But this game right here, this game determines who's going to sit on top of the division. And I tell you what, if the Cowboys win, they went from last place to first place within 5 weeks.
Interesting, because the Houston Astros went from last place to the freaking ALDS. What a time to be alive. All right, folks, we're going to roll into top 5 NFL rookies as of now, as of where we stand. I'm going to give you my quick top 5, and then you guys give me yours, and we'll go from there. Number 1, I got Breece Hall, running back of the Jets, 225 on the ground, receiving at 215. The guys just, and honestly, the only reason the Jets are where the Jets are is primarily because of Breece Hall and what he means to that team. Let that sink in for a minute. Number 2, I got Devin Lloyd for the Jags. 7 tackles, 3 pass defenses, an interception against the Chargers. He's got great range and great instincts. What a hell of a player this guy's going to be at the inside linebacker position for those Jaguars. Number 3, I got Chris Olave for the Saints. He's graceful. He's a great route runner. He gives you great separation, and he's got 389 yards on 25 attempts and 2 touchdowns. Number 4, I got Trayvion Walker, again, defensive end for the Jags. Dominant run defender, showing growth against the pass, 11 tackles, a sack, and a pick. You could put in there Aiden Hutchinson, and the only difference is instead of 1 sack, Aiden Hutchinson has 3. But the fact that Walker got a pick, hey, I'm gonna give it to Walker at a defensive end spot. Drake London, I got at number 5 for Atlanta. Again, 22 catches, 266 and 2. I think Drake London is a big part of that Atlanta offense, and those are my top 5 for those reasons. Johnathon Mathis, give me your quick top 5 rookies in the NFL as of now.
Yeah, so number 1, I got Chris Olave. Hey, look, this guy is doing his thing with the Saints. He's been a bright spot for that offense without Michael Thomas. So I got to go with him, number 1. Number 2, Sauce Gardner. I like Sauce Gardner, man. 20 tackles, 1 interception. He was a number 4 draft pick. He's made a huge difference in that Jets secondary. So I got to go with him. Number 3, Damien Pierce, man. Running back, man. Already had like 86 carries, 412 rushing yards. He was very underused at Florida. It's nice to see that he's producing at the NFL level with the Houston Texans. So I got him at 3. Number 4, Breece Hall. Another great running back. 56 carries, 275 yards. He looks really, really good. New York, eased him into a bigger workload, and he has embraced it. Taking advantage of the opportunity as it came. And, now he looks like he has dual threat traits, and he's definitely been carrying the ball consistently. And then number 5, Devin Lloyd, man. Jacksonville's having a big year, as we all know. Lloyd, has, played all but of the Jacksonville's defensive 8. He's played all but 8 of the Jacksonville's defensive snaps this season. And he led the team in tackles in the season opener. So I like him at number 5.
Absolutely. That's a good list. Frankie? Frankie, you there? Frankie's watching the game. We'll skip Frankie. He just missed out on this one. We're gonna. And by the way, that's a good list, man. Honestly, I definitely have no fault in that. We're gonna roll in real quick into, if I can get my thing to go, Deshaun Watson, new civil lawsuit. Jesus, if this guy don't have enough lawsuits, these things just keep coming out the woodwork. Like, he got more skeletons than Halloween does at any given haunted house. Wow, what a time to be alive. So the latest victim says that Watson pressured her into oral sex during a massage in 2020. Officially, it's the 26th lawsuit that's been filed against him. Watson is accused of soliciting over Instagram. He wanted her to massage his genitals, so he removed the towel and asked her to get on top. She refused to have sex with him, but was pressured into oral sex. Watson gave her $300 for the hour that she was there. Her normal rate is $115 an hour for the massage. The plaintiff has suffered severe anxiety and depression since the incident, per her lawyer. Goes on to say that the other 25 before her gave her the confidence that she needed to come out and stake her case. What a time to be alive. Again, hey, look, if 25 came before her and he wasn't criminally charged, I doubt that 26 will lead that same direction. I believe he settled 20 of the 25 via, civil lawsuit. He just gave them the money and they went on their way. Whether or not 26 will be awarded the money, and I don't know how much she's seeking, but whether or not she gets her money or not is to be determined. I would say if 20 out of 25 got it, and if the jury believes her enough, or if Deshaun just says, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay you. I'm going to be done with you. And we'll keep rolling, is to be decided. But at the end of the day, man, I never understood why they wait so damn late to come forward, but she came forward. Johnathon Mathis, what's your thought process on Deshaun?
These civil lawsuits just won't go away.
No.
I feel like it feels like we're getting some closure, or we're finally getting away from this. Another lawsuit comes out. Someone else comes forward and tell their side of the story. And you know what I think it is? I think a lot of these women feel confident in themselves when other women come forward first, because they don't want to be labeled as a person that, they don't want to be labeled as a bad person, I should say. I guess that's the appropriate word to use. And then people would criticize them as if they're in the wrong. So they wait to see if other women come forward, and then they decide to come forward after that. They have some type of inspiration to come forward. But this new sexual misconduct, that Watson engaged in a pattern of lewd behavior with another woman is egregious, to say the least. I mean, it's another one of those cases where you shake your head and you're like, damn, how many women did this guy hire to perform treatment on his back or whatever it was. It's really insane, and it's really a troubling story, and it continues to get ugly and not better anytime soon. It's just a crazy story. It's one of those complex situations where you really got to be careful how you discuss it and how you put it into words, because sometimes people get offended, they'll take it wrong. And I don't condone this type of behavior. I think, if he did it, he should be in jail for this. These allegations, you can't take them lightly. You got to take them seriously. And then you also look at it from a different standpoint that, well, what if all these women are lying because he's an NFL quarterback, and they could just be seeking money from this guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you got to be made out of Teflon to survive 26 cases and not be criminally charged. You got to be made out of either you're made out of Teflon, or the time has just elapsed so far that they just can't prove it against you, because it's a lot of hearsay of he said, she said. Either way, it's what, number 26, Frankie. We know that he had 66 massages in the hotel. Right now, we're at number 26 on the lawsuit. We got about 40 more people that haven't filed yet. So my question is just simply this. Number one, are there going to be more beyond the 26 out of the 66 to go? And number two, what do you think about Deshaun, man? Is he going to pay this girl, or is he going to drag it out in court?
If I was Deshaun Watson, I'll pay this girl, because you're about to come back. Oh my God, you're about to come back into the league, and you're about to come back into the league really soon, and now you got this dropping on you midway through the season. Another female coming in. It's really disappointing and depressing. I feel sorry for Deshaun Watson. But if he is doing this thing, I agree with Johnathon. Maybe he should do some jail time and rethink about his actions. I think it's just insane that all of this has happened after literally the year he signs that mega contract, being the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. All these women want to come out and say he did all these things just so they can get money out of him. I think it's ridiculous.
Hey, it's the American way, Frankie. It's greed. It's greed. It's the American way. Watch this, Frankie. Watch it, Frankie. Hey, watch this. Okay, let me think. 66 women. 20 have gotten awarded a contract. I don't got to be right. I don't got to be wrong. All I got to do is file and see what happens. What a time to be alive in the world. All right, folks. We're going to get on to the last topic, or no, second to last topic. I apologize. We got 2 more to go. The next one's going to be top 5 bigs in the NBA. I'm just going to give you my rundown and the order that I have them in, and then we'll get on to you guys, what you guys think. I got Giannis, or Gretchen. I apologize. I had Jokic at number 1. I got Giannis at number 2. I got Embiid at number 3. Number 4, I got Karl Anthony Towns. And at number 5, I got Gobert. And I did not put AD in there because, let's be honest, that dude can't stay for his life on the court. So what does it matter about AD? He's more off the court than on the court, so we don't care about AD at this point. So I put Gobert just by default in at number 5. Johnathon.
My top 5 bigs in the NBA right now. Giannis. I gotta go with Giannis number 1. Because Giannis is an absolute freak. His athleticism is off the charts. And, we saw that historic run that he had a couple seasons ago to lead his team to an NBA championship. Number 2 is definitely Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, I mean, he's huge for Philly. A lot of people felt he should have been the MVP last season, the way he played, but that award was that went rightfully to the right guy, and that's number 3 on my list. That is Jokic. I got to put Jokic at number 3. I think Jokic is up there, man. Jokic basically dragged a depleted Nuggets roster, to the playoffs. Did everything he could for his team. Number 4 and number 5 is where it gets difficult for me. I never really thought about my 4 or 5 among bigs, to be honest with you guys. I don't know who I would honestly put at 4. I do like Clint Capella though. I think he's a big man that people really overlook in this league. I think he's a great rim protector. I think he's solid underneath the basket. So I guess I could put him at 4. And at 5, that's also tough for me too. I don't know who I would put at 5. I really don't. I would say AD, but he's a power forward and he's always injured all the damn time.
Well, give me your thoughts. Hurry up.
So, probably at 5. Stevens.
Okay. I'm going to let 4 and 5 slide down the wayside. It doesn't really matter. But what gets me a little bit is that you put Jokic at number 3. I got a huge problem with that when Jokic, when you tell me that your reasoning is what people have, and Jokic had nothing. Murray, Porter Jr., both of them sidelined. Ain't but one person carrying that team, and it's Jokic all damn day. When we talk about skill sets, anybody think that Giannis' skill sets are better than Jokic? You ain't been watching basketball. And anybody think that Embiid is better than Jokic? Ain't been watching basketball. I will give you Embiid is a good scorer, no doubt about it. But the other intangibles that Jokic gives you is by far superior. And the fact that he's got NBA MVP back-to-back, Jonathan, I don't know, man. I got big reservations with your list, but it's a free damn country, and we all think what we think, and I'm going to respect you, and we're going to move on.
And I'm in Steven Adams at 5.
No, don't worry about it. At number 5, we don't care. Frankie. Frankie.
Yo.
Frankie. Please give me your top 5 bigs.
Well, first of all, I gotta say this goddamn game is still going on. They're going into 17 goddamn innings.
It's never gonna end. It's damn near a double hitter without the break in between.
All I know is Jay and Mickey Delaney are probably gonna be dead by the time this game is ending.
I've never seen it so hard to put a man that's 70 some odd years old out to pasture.
No, but yeah, my top 5, I'm going to have to go with the Joker at number 1. Obviously, he had a fantastic year literally last year and the year before that. He's going to keep it going, especially with his point guard coming back healthy. At number 2, I'm going to put Giannis. You got to put the Greek in there, winning his NBA title a couple of years ago. He's still the man. You got to beat Giannis, obviously, to be the man. Number 3, I'm going to go with Karl Anthony Towns. He's looking phenomenal these last couple of seasons with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think he can, go back into the playoffs this upcoming season and probably drive them farther in than what they were last year. At number 4, I'm going to go with Rudy Wilbur. I think, he's still the top man. Yeah, he wasn't looking that good with Utah, but now he's with he's with Cat and all and Anthony Edwards over at Minnesota. So I feel like he's going to step up big for them and develop really great. And at number 5, yeah, probably going to be shocking. But at number 5, I'm going to put Anthony Davis. I understand he's always injury prone and stuff like that. But I think the man, he had a full offseason rest. Even before that, he was out. So he's not only does he have a full offseason rest, but he had a full offseason plus more. So I think the Lakers and David Ham are going to use Anthony Davis productively and well on the court this year, and I think he's going to do fantastic.
I just want to understand.
Damn,
and
I
again,
forgot about
they're
that.
on your list, but I want to understand. And 1 through 5, you had no Embiid.
Nope.
What a time to be alive. What are you not?
I forgot about Cat. Can I put Cat on this?
Hey, listen. Hey, that I'm not gonna lie. Everything on your list, with the exception of leaving Embiid off of the top 5, that shocked me, Frankie. You shot me on that one. But hey, who am I to go against Frankie Foxborough or Frankie the Yankee? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Wow, what a time to be alive in this world. This is crazy to me. The last on the thing is final thoughts, man. We are at final thoughts. Jesus Christ. We literally went through an entire program when the Astros were in the 9th. And we are literally almost 2 hours in. That means this game has gone 2 hours after the 9th inning. How crazy is that? Jesus.
Hey, Jay. Harrison Bader got a home run, baby. 5-3. Let's go.
We don't care anymore. You guys are winning. Hey, props, mad props. Hey, no more.
I want you to call Dusty Baker.
No, actually, you know what, Frankie? You're in final thoughts. You can hold on. Wait, Frankie. You're in final thoughts. I'm gonna let you lead off final thoughts. Lead off final thoughts. Say whatever you want to say, Frankie.
All right, here we go. The Yankees are on top 5-3, top of the 7th, 1 out. Harrison Bader just got a home run. I'm feeling really good right now. We got a comfortable lead. We're about to take this series lead 2-1. Houston Astros honestly still going at it, top of the 15th. Hopefully something can happen there soon. Maybe Dusty Baker should go. It's top of the 17th. Hopefully Dusty Baker should go in the clubhouse and watch what the Yankees are doing, or even the Cleveland Guardians, and see if he could go back out there and tell his players, listen, this is what these guys are doing. This is what you should do. But listen, it's been a good day of sports. The Atlanta Braves are shitty again. What a time to be alive for them. Inside the park home run for the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm going to keep saying that until April. I know right now Logan and Pride are enjoying the couch. Don't worry, Jonathan, you will be soon there with them. And, I think that's it. Enjoy your football games tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the Patriots and the Browns.
Absolutely. Before Jonathan goes on his final thoughts, Damien, no, I do not think the Browns, on a civil court case, are going to cut ways with Deshaun Watson. Go ahead.
Hold on, Jay. Can I say something real quick to Damien?
Go ahead.
Damien, you put a comment earlier about Tatis. Yes, if the Padres do win the World Series, Tatis still does get a ring. Also, the person that nobody has noticed, if the Padres win the World Series, the one person that also will get a ring, and he's not even in baseball right now, is Robinson Cano.
Oh, how crazy is that?
Because he started this year on the Padres.
That's right. No, he did. You're right.
Got traded to the Braves, then got traded to the Mets. So if either of those teams would have went on to win the World Series, he would have still won a World Series ring.
But he don't want that damn ring because he didn't do shit for it. That's just like sitting by the wayside collecting a gratuitous gift. Whatever.
You know who did that before? Josh Gordon, when he was with the Patriots. We won the Super Bowl. He didn't.
Oh no, I get it. Hey, again, hey, listen, I understand what you're saying. Hey, it is what it is, right? Johnathon Mathis, man, give me your final thoughts, brother. Hurry up, let's go, baby.
I'm gonna put Cat at 4, and I'm gonna put Rudy Gobert at 5. I forgot about both of them, so I'm gonna add them to my list. There you go. But my final thoughts, man, it's been a great day in sports. I'm about to check out this Dodger game now. I've been on the Seattle and Astros game, but I'm about to flip over to the Dodgers and Padres. And as you guys can hear, my daughter and my fiance are singing lullabies in the background.
What a time to be alive.
That's amazing.
Jonathan ain't singing no damn lullaby because he probably can't sing. It's okay, Jonathan. Don't take it to heart. I can't sing either, so it's not a big deal.
It's cool, Jonathan. I understand because earlier I was singing some Frozen tunes with my twins.
Stop it. God, you must. Frankie, you don't know your ass can't sing. Just stop.
Bro, I got the most amazing shitty voice. You don't even understand.
No, there ain't nobody's voice worse than mine. Trust me, I'll tell you that right now. Hey, what a time it is to be alive. Astros game, like Jonathan said, is still going on. Who knows how long we're going to be here? Frankie, the Yankees up 5-3 with the Yankees over the Guardians, and the Padres Dodgers just started. Again, hey, I want to thank Johnathon Mathis for being on the show. You will see Jonathan on Saturday. He has no damn choice. Frankie, the Yankee, will be on. He has no choice. And hey, man, what a time to be alive, guys. If any of you guys want to catch us out on Saturday, please tune in, 8 p.m. Eastern.
It is Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Tuesday. Shut up. I know. I'm old. Tuesday, I meant. Johnathon Mathis will be on Tuesday. And Frankie will be on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the rest of the games because I'm pretty sure we got to play on Sunday too, people. What a time to be alive. Jesus, so much to talk about on Tuesday. Chiefs, Bills, Cowboys, Eagles, MLB playoffs. Hopefully the AP poll will be out and we can find out how far down Alabama will slide. I don't know. We'll see. All I know is Tuesday will be another amazing show of more sports to talk about. Things are going to look great. October is here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, your Sunday. And we will catch you Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time here on Unscripted. And y'all have a good night.